Four news stories for you. Firstly, viewers, Ethiopian PM Abiy Ahmad has returned to the battlefield. According to a statement issued by Ethiopian PM office, once again, Abiy Ahmad, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, is on the battlefield. We'll have a look at this development. Secondly, fires have destroyed dozens of camps at Rakuba refugee camp in Sudan. The camp is on Sudan-Ethiopia border, and Tigray refugees are in these camps. Exact cause of the fire is unknown, but I have some pictures for you. Dozens of houses can be seen destroyed, dozens of camps rather, they've been destroyed. Thirdly, viewers, Jamal Yasin, a sheikh, has been arrested, member of Islamic Council. He has been arrested in Addis Ababa, most sources say. And lastly, viewers, Dr. Tedros, head of WHO, was in the United Arab Emirates. He has held meetings with Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of the UAE. Dr. Tedros is definitely head of WHO. He can visit these countries, but UAE has been providing military assistance to Ethiopian government. Dr. Tedros, a Tigrayan, can this visit be linked to what's happening in Ethiopia? Firstly, viewers, Abiy Ahmad, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, is back in the battlefield. Last night, Ethiopian PM office issued a statement confirming that PM Abiy is leading his forces. He is in the battlefield. He was back from the battlefield last week, viewers. Then I think 2 or 3 days he spent in Addis Ababa. Now once again he is back in the battlefield. Important thing, viewers, is whenever Ethiopian PM Abiy joins his forces in the battlefield, things have already started happening. His forces already have made gains. Then he joins his forces, he makes announcements about gains. And we have seen announcements within the past few hours about Ethiopian government forces taking control of Wuldia Kobo Road, taking control of Zobel, Boren, mountainous areas, and some other places too. It means that in coming hours, we could see more breaking news. That is the pattern we saw when he joined his forces around 2 weeks ago. He joined his forces, then he made announcements from afar about Kasagita, about Chifra, Eliviha. Then he joined his forces in Amhara region. He made announcements about Gashina. So then he was seen in Dasi too. So in coming hours, we could see some breaking news from Ethiopian government side. While he has joined his forces, it means that things are already happening. His forces are making gains. Secondly, viewers, large fires have destroyed dozens of camps at a refugee center, a refugee camp on Sudan-Ethiopia border. Rakuba refugee camp was the place where these fires have destroyed dozens of camps and people's belongings have been destroyed too. You can see pictures on your screen. Large area was affected due to these fires. What was the cause of these fires? It's not clear up till now. But the fires were very devastating, viewers, and refugees already vulnerable, already suffering. We have seen floods, now fires. These refugees have gone through a lot, viewers. They somehow managed to reach Sudan from Ethiopia, from Tigray. But here again, we have seen floods, we have seen fires. Refugees are going through a very bad time, viewers, on Sudan, Ethiopia border. Thirdly, third news story is about Sheikh Jamal Yasin. He is a member of Islamic Council. He has been arrested. Why was he arrested? So far, no statement from Ethiopian government. Which crime did he commit? No charges has been leveled against him officially so far. So arrests are underway. Jamal Yasin was arrested when TPLF was in power too. So he is one of those clerics who have suffered at the hands of both parties. He was imprisoned when TPLF was in power. Now he's been arrested when PM Abiy is in power. Lastly, viewers, Dr. Tedros, head of WHO, World Health Organization, was in the United Arab Emirates yesterday. We have seen pictures of Dr. Tedros having a meeting with Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, crown prince of the UAE. Why did he visit the UAE? Officially, it is being said that UAE is UAE sponsors WHO's operations, its activities. So that is why he was there to discuss WHO operations with UAE government, COVID situation and other things. UAE funds WHO. But we know that United Arab Emirates has been providing military assistance to Ethiopian government. We have seen dozens of cargo flights unrecorded in Ethiopian civil aviation record. Cargo flights from the UAE to Ethiopia. And most experts say that the UAE has been providing weapons to Ethiopian government. Chinese drones, some people say, have arrived in Ethiopia through the UAE. Is this visit linked to what's happening in Ethiopia? Is Dr. Tedros in the UAE to send a message from Tigray to UAE? Is he there to convince the UAE that UAE should not provide military support to Ethiopian government? Obviously, no one is going to officially acknowledge if it's happening in the background. But Jeffrey Feltman is visiting Turkey, UAE, Egypt. His visit is linked to arms deliveries from the UAE, Turkey to Ethiopia. And now Dr. Tedros is in the UAE. Yes, he might raise the issue, viewers. He might raise the issue. We know that he is from Tigray. He is a Tigrayan, and he has been accused of backing the TPLF. And his tweets, his statements indicate that he feels for his people. Whether he is against Ethiopian government or not, we don't know, but he feels for his people, he advocates for his people. So it wouldn't be surprising if he discusses with the UAE that UAE should not be part of this conflict militarily. It might have come under discussion, though official statements are only about WHO operations, which were discussed by Dr. Tedros with Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Thank you for watching.